Good morning. I wanted to show you some of my gifts for Christmas that I acquired over December, and then also wanted to share intentions around 2022. And that's the only thing going on with this video because I have a small mental plate and I need to only hold so much right now if I'm going to actually accomplish it. So I wanted to show you guys my gifts from my husband. Piece of furniture he built for me, and he built it specifically so that my Swift would fit perfectly over here and my ball winder would fit perfectly over here. Obviously, I got a lot going on there because I haven't put everything away from the last piece that was there. The last piece had a lot of drawers, and this one just has a lot of space for supplies. So I need to get some little baskets, boxes, whatever that I have around my house and make them so that this is not like that. But it's a beautiful piece. I love it so much. It's perfect for what I need. This has my sewing stuff all on the bottom. My sewing stash has gone down significantly this past year. Significantly. And even though I did buy some fabric this year, and then this all is the acrylic yarn that came with the Aunt Annie's clubs. I have no idea how I'm supposed to use all of that for the blankets, but oh well. And there are the blankets in their own project bags, which is great. And then I'll have more room on this side of the shelf for my needles and my notions and everything. He built it for me, and like I picked out those knobs from a thrift shop, oh gosh, I think a year ago. And so now I just need to get to reorganizing. It's really great. I have all of my sewing notions and thread over here now. It used to have like a bunch of paper and packaging stuff, but all of that fits in just like this drawer now. And then I have sewing notions and trim and buttons and stuff in here, and then my patterns, some of them are here, and then some of them are up here with a notebook about some notes that I've given to myself. Oh yeah, oh there's a note about what I wanted to make for my husband's dad. Anyway, yeah, so all of this is getting more streamlined, more organized. It's really great. This desk is supposed to stay pretty clear because that's where my son does his schoolwork if he wants to hang out with me during that period of time while I'm working. And as you can see, those are the project bags that I never finished because we had to leave for Indiana so suddenly. So I will eventually feel the Sojo come back, and I just have those there waiting for me when I do. These are the other things my husband built for me. This big old yarn shelf. I like it so much. He built these honeycomb shelves for me a while back, and they're very nice. But as you can see, like way up there at the top, oh, it's focusing on my finger. Way up there at the top, one of the skeins up there, like I have to store them vertically, and it's a little bit weird. So this is nice for the hanks, because there's enough space on the shelf for them, and then I can put like cakes and other stuff on that shelf there. He also got me this yarn, the alpaca chunky yarn, which is super soft, and then he got me these, which I've never used before, merino alpaca tweed blend, and I asked him if he wanted a hat in this yellow, and he said, oh, it feels weird for me to get you a gift and then you make me a gift with it. And I was like, well, the gift is knitting, like that I get to knit it, so if you don't want it, that's fine. And he was like, no, I want it. So that's kind of funny. And then he made me this sock blocker holder, and I love the little rustic small, medium, large here. And I had a couple of medium sock blockers already, but he got me one of each. So now I have enough to block a bunch of my socks and block gifts if I have those to block. And those things are beautiful. And they feel kind of, what's the word? Like extra. Like you don't need furniture for your crafting things, but I really like it. And he was asking me recently if I wanted to do something with the wall behind the cabinet he made. And I said, yeah, I have some ideas. And we talked about this pegboard thing. And so we'll see what happens with that. By the time we move, man, this room is going to be more knitting room than guest room. I'll tell you that, which I am here for. I think that's great. The next things that I have are kind of utilitarian, but they're wonderful. I am all about function meets, holy moly, my glasses are messy. I am all about function meets beauty, and that's kind of my goal a lot in life, is to surround myself with functional and beautiful things. Not or. I don't believe you need to choose or. I think if you try to sort through it enough, you can get and out of functional and beautiful. So, and sometimes I give up and I just go for functional or just beautiful, but I really think that if you stick with it, you can get both out of pretty much anything around your life. So anyway, that's a tangent that was not necessary, but here we go. This is a sock ruler from Crazy Sock Lady, and you can tell that I've taken it anywhere because everywhere, because I have like stuff on the toe. I don't know what happened. It must have been in a bag and got stuff on it. It's like paint or something. That's weird. And I really like it. It's really helpful to be able to just put your sock on there and measure it. For toe up sock knitters, of course, it's pretty obvious about how you measure your toe, and then you can flip it and measure your heel, like to measure your leg there. And then for cuff down knitters, you can do the same thing with your heel and measure your foot there, and knowing when you need to start your toe. And it's way easier than taking that knit sock and trying to like figure out how far on the heel with your stuff you need to go. The second thing is this light. It looks super geeky. I love it. I love it because of how it looks, and also because it is so helpful when I am not home and I'm knitting in a poorly lit area. So like when there's a movie happening at my parents' house, or when I am in the car. So you can turn it on to have multiple levels of light. Maybe I need to charge it. I've been using it a lot. There we go. And you like just touch it and it turns on, and you can do one or you can do both, and you can hold on to it and it'll like brighten up, and then you can change the warmth of the light also, which is fun depending on what lighting situation you need. It's been really nice to have, because at home I have a project light on my table, and I have like a little corner that I sit in next to the project light, so that if I'm working with dark yarn or not so dark yarn, I have that light. And yeah, it's really nice to have. Oh, and I got some gifts from my father-in-law, who he passed away just before Christmas, but these are the gifts that he got me for Christmas, and I was able to open them on Christmas, which was really sweet. He got me this ruler bracelet from Twig and Horn. I absolutely love it. I've barely taken it off since receiving it because it's just fantastic, and it's actually really comfy. If I wear my sleeve over it even. I just keep it on almost all the time. And it's really fun because I can undo it and like lay it out if I want to. But most of the time, what I'm measuring is like 1 or 2 inches. So I can even just look at this and like put it up there, and that's been really nice. For now, it's saving me from tattooing my finger, like some other knitters I've seen. So I'm not opposed to that. I just don't know if I want to commit to that. So yeah, I have a tattoo. I just don't know if I want that as my next one, or if I ever want that one. I don't know. But and he also got me these stitch holders. These are also from Twig and Horn, and they are beautiful. They're these antique brass things, and they are fabulous. I think they're so pretty. And I'm probably going to put these on my son's sweater because I just found them again as I was unpacking. And I think they're perfect for that. I could just put, you know, them on both sides and have them set. So they're very pretty and I like them a lot. I got another ruler bracelet for Christmas also. But I don't know exactly where it is. Our house is a bit of a shambles right now because it's, you know, we're dealing with like grieving and trying to get back on track with school for the kids. And, you know, just there are some things that have slipped through the cracks. So some of the things that I had with me are still in bags somewhere. So we're slowly unpacking it. I'm sure I will find it. And I'm putting it on the back burner so that if anything happens to this, I still have one. So it'll be really great. Last things. Try to make sure these are the last things. I got a blocking square for my last shipment from the Annie's Kit Club for the squares that I knit for the blanket. I think I have a third of the squares done that are supposed to be done for that blanket so far. And here's the thing, this is all acrylic yarn. The other blankets that I'm like doubling the pattern with are cotton. And I think I understand like how to block cotton well and how to get it to like lay, because some of it is somewhat lacy, like this business here. Like I want that to lay really nicely. But for acrylic yarn, I'm wondering, I'm just gonna have to look up how to even do that. I haven't blocked hardly anything in my knitting journey. And not necessarily to shape it either, just basically to relax the stitches and let it like lie when I've soaked it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. If I ever finish them. Speaking of maybe goals, we can transition into the intentions part, because this acquisition is where I'm keeping my intentions. I got a couple of notebooks that are really cool. They're called Reconnect Notebooks. This one is called the G something. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is the original one, and this is the new version of the notebook. And what I love about them is you can take out the pages, and they have this magnetic like coating on the side, and you can just put them right back in. So you can rearrange your pages as you go. Like if I just think, oh, I want like a whole section of pattern notes about sweaters, I can just pull them out and rearrange them how I want and stick them back in, which is really fun. And with this version, the spine actually comes out of it. So you can like buy different spines and kind of express yourself that way if you want. I don't really feel the need for that right now, but I think they're really cool. And I'm keeping my show notes right now in here so that I can keep my brain together when I'm talking to y'all, to remember what I've mentioned and what I haven't in the last episode, because I am not necessarily trusting the bandwidth of my brain. And I really love when podcasters are more organized and share all the details of their podcast episode. I like vlogs that they do, and I like lots of things. I like all the things that podcasters do, tutorials and all of that. But when it comes to podcast episodes, I really like it when it's pretty linear and I can see like, oh, that got frogged. Oh, that, like, just following along with the projects, because for me, the purpose of me watching those podcasts is because I'm interested in what they're doing and I want to learn more about it. I want to learn more about what their takeaway from that project was. Whether they loved it or hated it or frogged it or finished it, whatever it is, I just want to know what their experience with that was, because that informs my likes and dislikes of what I already know about myself. And I can run that through, my own filter and see if that's something I want to pursue or not. So in here, this notebook is also a Reconnect notebook, but the spine is like stuck in this book. And so I have my project notes in here. So I made notes about my tread heavy socks here, which is great. And then I'm able to print on these, which I'm sure you saw on the other page. I'm able to print on these. So if I'm taking notes on my phone about a project I'm doing, then I can print out what I have and then just keep writing on it and stuff. And I really like that option. I also they have lined paper, graph paper, blank paper, and the dotted paper. And I love the dotted paper. So both of mine are in dotted paper. And I'm going to be keeping track of my projects a lot better. I don't know if I'll be keeping my projects a lot better together on Ravelry. So far, my track record for that is not good. I do have a goal of getting that caught up, at least to current projects this season. I do usually seasonal goals for myself. Not because yearly goals are bad, but because yearly goals are hard for me to remember the whole year and be motivated by the whole year. Okay, we're going to go from short-term to long-term goals here with just January. January goals are to cast on 2 sweaters for myself, which I've already done, and I'm very excited about it. I've not just cast them on either. They are... they're pretty established now, which is nice. I finished the first color work chart on 1 sweater, and I just finished the second yoke increase on my other top-down sweater. So one's a cardigan and one's a pullover, and I think that will do me for a minute. Who knows? Maybe I'll finish them and I'll immediately want to cast on more sweaters. I don't know. But my goal for January was to cast them on. My finishing goal for January is to get my friend's muscle pearl hat done. I am seeing her on Monday. So my brain is telling me, stop everything you're doing and work entirely on that hat, and you might be able to have it done by Monday. Which, I'm a gambler at heart. I really like doing things like that and seeing if I can do it, even though it seems kind of impossible, because it's not, I just realized the other day that I'm not even done with the increases. But we'll see what I can get done on that. And even if I don't get it done by Monday, at least I will have it significantly done by the time I see her, and can maybe even have her like try it on. And I think those are my only goals for January, are casting on the 2 sweaters and finishing the muscle pearl hat. Oh no, there's one more. I'd like to finish my second tread heavy sock. My first draft of the sock, I frogged back to where I made tweaks to the final draft, and I'm going to be knitting it as the final draft so that they're both exactly right, and I can take better product photos of them on feet, and get that all set for that, because the pattern is done. It's all been worked out in the sample. Now it's being tested right now, and there are 2 finished socks already that other people have knit, and we've worked through anything in the pattern that was confusing. And there are more. I have 15 testers. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. And so the last goal is to publish my sock pattern by the end of January. I'm hoping I can accomplish that even with the little Ravelry hitch that's happening right now. So we'll see. We'll see if we can accomplish those. Those are kind of a lot for January. I didn't realize how many I have for January, but that is what I would like to accomplish in January. I'm halfway through January. I have about 2 more weeks left of January, and so I am not sure. I mean, I've already accomplished casting on the sweaters, so the hat, the second sock, and the pattern publishing are my last goals to finish. In winter of 2022, I would like to finish the 2 sweaters. In my heart, I'm hoping I finish them before the winter's over, but I'm not sure what is possible for me around garment knitting exactly for myself. And then I would like to finish the small whips that carried over from 2021. So that is the pumpkin spice sock, the shorty autumnal sock, and the snowy day sock. Get those done so that by the end of the winter I will have all of my second socks finished, and that means I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs of knit socks. That's so great. So, but the tread heavy socks are my favorites. Obviously, that's why I made them, because I like them a lot. And so I'm going to be finishing those first. And then for winter of 2022, I'm also going to be diligently keeping track of my projects in my notebooks. And what I love that I'm able to pull a page out and print it out, because sometimes I do write down my notes and sometimes I keep them on my phone, and it's just really nice to be able to have that versatility, and also to not necessarily have everything organized out, like knowing how many sweaters I'm gonna be doing, and so the pages need to be like this. Like, maybe other people don't care, but by the end of the year, what I'd like to do is to be able to pull out the pages, put the sweaters together, put the accessories together, put the socks all together of what I accomplished that year, so that it's really easy for me to navigate and find again. And so being diligent about that also, so that I can share it on the podcast well. I really love when podcasters have all the details, like what needle size they're using, what kind of yarn they're using, where they got it from, what what their goal was from using that together, what their gauge is turning out to be, what like all the things. Like, I don't think you could tell me too many details about your knitting project. I don't think that's possible. And so I am trying to be better about doing that myself. That I would be a knitting podcaster that I would enjoy watching. Because I do have to watch it when I edit the videos. And that's another thing for winter goals, is to be able to edit my videos well. There are some things that come with editing, like being able to put a picture over here when I don't have the finished object with me, or being able to put, text about something when I made a mistake in something I said. And I really appreciate that. when other people do that. So that's something that I'm going towards. Actually, in my last podcast video, that was the first time I figured out how to do the picture over the video thing, and it turned out I'm so happy with it. I know, like, I'm sure I will learn more about it as I go, but I was so happy to be able to show you guys like the finished objects that I had, the patterns that I'm working on. So excited about that. I'm glad to be able to continue that because I know how that works now. Goals for 2022. I really just have one right now. I heard the podcaster from Harry Knits talk about how she would like to make 22 items in 2022. And I think that's just a really cool goal. I'm trying to decide if I want to make 22 items for myself or 22 items total. And I want it to be 22 items for myself. And if I continue with my goals for January, I will have 1, 2 plus 4 more pairs of socks. So that's 6 items that I'll have made in January. So it's very possible for me to make 22 items for myself. So I think I will. I think I will make it that. And I have been loving seeing everyone's year in review videos. I think it's so cool to be able to see where someone started in the year and how their skills changed, how their tastes changed. I want to be able to make a video like that next year. I just started podcasting last July, and so I have no idea what I was doing in January of that year. I can't really tell you what was going on. So I want this year to be able to track those things better. So 22 items knit for myself, and to be able to get to the end of the year and be able to competently do a 2022 year in review video. That is my goal for this year. I have one YouTube goal for this year, and that is to reach the amount of subscribers I would need to be able to offer a membership. I have thought about doing a Patreon. I've thought about doing things on Ko-Fi. And I just think the membership option is so great and versatile. And so I might do more than one thing this year. I might do Patreon and a membership, but I think it would just be so cool to have that available specifically to my subscribers. So that is the only YouTube goal I have for this year, and those are my intentions around that. I have some pretty significant knitting goals this winter, but part of that is because I'm almost sure that there's going to be a moment where I'm snowed in this month, and I'm totally fine with that. Just give me my little chai drink and that's fine. I will knit my way through whatever snow-in situation is happening. And maybe the spring goals will be less, especially since I think there will be I won't have these socks hanging over my head and all of that. My stretch goal for 2022 is to come out with another knitting design pattern of something. I don't know if it'll be another sock. I'm hoping it'll actually be something else. I think it'd be really cool to design a hat or to design a sweater. Sweaters is like, that would be so great, amazing. And I have all these books on, designing and stitch patterns and things like that, and I would really like to dive into that and see what tickles my fancy around that, because following what I wanted to accomplish with the socks has turned out really well. And even though I didn't hit my goal of publishing my pattern by the end of 2021, that's really okay with me because some real stuff happened at the end of 2021 that we needed to deal with that was more important than my pattern being published. And so we're just trekking along anyway and getting that done in 2022. But I'd love to design something else also this coming year, and that is my stretch goal for the year. So we are going to see how this turns out. I'm actually going to print out these goals and put them in my notebook so that I can review them as the year goes on and be able to come back to them at the end of the year and see what happened and what changed, and if there were any that I at some point in the year was like, no, nope, I'm not doing that. So I'm hoping to stick with them all at this point, obviously. Um, what is one of your knitting goals for 2022? I think it's so great to be able to know each other's goals and cheer each other on. And I would love to know what you are working towards this year, whether that's just whether it's a tangible goal of like so many sweaters or so many items or something like that, or if it's just an intention, to find joy in your knitting or comfort in your knitting or excellence in your knitting, whatever that might be. I would love to cheer you on around that. So feel free to comment down here. I am gonna get on with my day now. I don't really want to. I want to just sit up here and knit for hours and hours and hours. But my kids are fine with me knitting around them, so I might as well just take one downstairs, take the Musselburgh hat downstairs, and work on it. That's what I'm gonna do. Align with my goals. Align with my goals already. Right? Right. Bye, and happy knitting in 2022.